So, good morning, everybody. I'm Dipanjan Ghosh. Today, I want to discuss about digestions, and I want to share the NEET student who have taken PPR for Medicaid. There are very few technique by which you keep remember the whole process in a very short time. Basically, the food stuff is carbohydrate, protein, and fat. Okay, carbohydrate digestion is actually started to mouth and continue to stomach and intestine. But because in carbohydrate digestion there is presence of salivary amylase or tie-in to the mouth, to the saliva. But in case of protein and fat digestions, there is neither any presence of enzyme to the mouth, so the protein and fat digestion do not continue to the stomach and intestine. Okay, so you have to keep remember the first point. And the second one is, basically the tie-in is actually break down the boil starch to its defined form acrodextrin, imidextrin, and basically ultimately it will come to the to the maltose, isomaltose, and glucose. Because our motto is that the starch or the polysaccharide form will be converted to the monosaccharide form, because if it is not converted to monosaccharide, then the absorption is not possible. And then the foodstuff come to the stomach and the tie-in activity lost, and then the hydrochloric acid is mixed. But the word sentence you have to remember that the carbohydrate digestions do not basically occur to the stomach. What happened? Now, only the sucrose basically break down. Only the sucrose hydrolysis basically occur to the stomach, and then the foodstuff is basically come to the intestine. So those who have taken PPR for NEET Medicaid, I have just guided you one sentence. If you keep remember that whenever the foodstuff basically come from stomach to intestine, that is the duodenum, through pyloric sphincter, there is pyloric sphincter to the pylorus portion, then basically the bile, pancreatic juices and intestinal juices are mixed with the foodstuff. So this is the main formula. Whenever the foodstuff will come from pancreas to intestine, from stomach to intestine, then the foodstuff is whoever. It may be carbohydrate, maybe protein, maybe fat. The process is same in every cases. Every foodstuff in every cases, the bile juices, pancreatic juices, and intestinal juices are mixed. But the bile juice do not contain any enzyme, and it will not act on carbohydrate and protein. It has some role to the fat digestions, because bile salt plays a very crucial role here. Besides bile, we see the pancreatic juices and the intestinal juices plays the very crucial role. Because pancreatic juices contain carbohydrate, digestive, pancreatic lipase, pancreatic amylase, the proteolytic enzyme. Besides it, the gastric juices contain also the hydrochloric acid, and that hydrochloric acid some role to the activation of pepsinogen, and that pepsin we do act on basically protein, and as the media is acidic, so it will convert the protein to acid metaprotein. But whenever you will come to the trypsin, whenever you come to the pancreas, as the nature of the juices is basically basic, so it will convert the foodstuff to the alkyl protein. Okay, and in that way, basically by the activity of trypsin, the foodstuff is actually converted to peptone. And so we see that the pancreas contain very much amount of proteolytic enzyme, that is the trypsin, chymotrypsin, carboxypeptidase, elastase, nucleotidase, and nucleosidase. They can also break the nucleotide to nucleoside and phosphate. So this is the activity. So you have to keep remember that the pancreatic juice contain basically the protein rich. Only the pancreatic amylase and pancreatic lipase presence. Besides it, they contain abundant amount of protein breaking proteolytic enzyme. But whenever we have step forward to the intestinal juice, then intestinal juice also contain intestinal amylase and intestinal lipase. Besides it, they contain basically different type of different type of proteolytic enzyme also present there. Ellipsin is also present here, and these plays are very crucial role for the protein digestions. And whenever fat is actually contain fatty acid and glycerol. If we go to the structure of fatty acid, it is a hydrocarbon chain adjoined with carboxy group, and we know the structure of glycerol. It contains the 3 hydroxy group. So that hydrocarbon, that fatty acid acidic portions we bind with the alcohol portions of glycerol and form the ester bond. So that's why the triester formed. So that the triglyceride, that is the fat, is actually by the actions of bile to the intestine, it will convert to the emulsified fat, and that is it will convert to the diglyceride. And by the activity of intestinal lipase, that diglyceride convert to monoglyceride, and that monoglyceride by the activity of intestinal lipase, by the activity of lipase, basically lipase, they will convert to the by the activity of lipase, they will convert it to the fatty acid and monoglyceride. So this is the overall discussions about the digestions. I think those students who have just listened my my way of discussions, how do the normal process when the intestinal juices and pancreatic juices are mixed, whenever the food stuff come to the intestine, and what is the pH of pancreas and intestine, and what are the enzyme presence to the amylolytic, proteolytic, and lipolytic enzyme presence to the pancreas and intestine. Then I think we get figure out easily how do the digestion process is actually occurred to the body. Thank you.